When it comes to magic in the main Elder Scrolls games, Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim that is, because let's be honest, no one plays Daggerfall or Arena, each game functions quite differently. In Morrowind, to cast your currently equipped spell, you have to switch to the cast spell stance, which puts away whatever weapon you are currently wielding. In Skyrim, you have your two hands, which can be equipped separately with different weapons and spells. So you could have two spells, one spell in both hands, a one-handed weapon and a spell and a shield. If you're using a bow or a two-handed weapon, you'll have to put it away and equip a spell to be able to cast it. Oblivion stands out in this way, as you always have a spell equipped and can cast it at any time, regardless of what weapon you have equipped. This allows for easy use of magic regardless of what kind of character you build. A classic sword and board fighter can still make use of healing and defensive magic. A stealth archer can use illusion magic to become invisible, or charm an enemy that gets too close. A barbarian wielding a warhammer can use destruction magic to light their enemies on fire. No matter how you play, magic is at your fingertips, should you choose to use it. And the design of the game seems to expect you to at least use some magic, regardless of your playstyle. But what if you decided to only use magic? No weapons or shields to fall back on, just the one spell you have equipped at a time. Can you beat Oblivion Remastered using only magic? If you want to catch these runs live, I stream on Twitch Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from around 1 to 4 p.m. Central Time. Come hang out and chat if you'd like. The intro to Oblivion is old hat at this point, so we'll be moving through it fairly quickly. Once the rats show up, we can really get the challenge going, so let's start there. We pick a Breton for their extra magicka, increased magic skills, and resistance to magic. We take the first rat out with one shot. I make sure the difficulty is on Adept, and it is. That's just how strong magic is starting out. We can use keys if we need, but eventually we'll get some unlocked spells. We are not allowed to pick locks using the security skill since there is a magic alternative. We take out some more rats, and even this zombie isn't an issue for our starting spell. The next area has some goblins, which can take a little more abuse but still aren't an issue. We won't be purposefully making use of traps, such as these logs, but if an enemy hurts themselves, that's on them. We make it to the large cavern with the Goblin Witch. She's the only one that poses a risk at all, but even then, that was only because we ran out of magicka. She drops a staff that shoots lightning. We won't be using it, but we will take it to sell later. We reunite with the Emperor and his blades. We can now choose a birth sign. There's a lot of good options for us, but we keep it simple and go with the Mage. It gives us an extra 50 points of magicka to cast spells.
Signs I read.
Now that we're back with the boys, we've got the Assassins to deal with. They can take a lot of damage, so we let the blades do most of the work.
Not much farther.
We make it to the final room and have a funny visual bug happening. This is fine. The Emperor gives us the Amulet of Kings before he is brutally murdered. We take out the Assassin, and now we can choose a class. The Mage is the obvious choice here, as it has all of the magic skills as major skills, intelligence and willpower as favored attributes, and specializes in magic. Horus gives us a key to get out of here, and we can get this run going. Having any of the magic skills as major skills gives you additional spells for those respective skills, so now we have some extra starting spells to play with. We have a skeleton we can summon to help take aggro. We won't be using summons too much, but they can help in a tight situation. We make it to the exit and out into the world. We head to Wayne Priory and deliver the amulet to Joffrey. He tells us the Emperor has a living son, Martin, in the city of Kvatch, and we should go get him. When we get there, we find that Kvatch is under attack from Daedra. Savli and Matthias, one of the Kvatch guard, tells us that we'll have to find a way to close the Oblivion gate before we can get anyone out. We deal with some scamps on the perimeter, and take a moment to appreciate the lighting before we head into Oblivion. We make it in, dealing with some scamps along the way. We start climbing the tower, tearing through scamps and Dremora, only stopped by running out of magicka and having to wait for it to regenerate. I hope this won't become a problem in the future. We make it to the Sigil Keeper, who has a key we need, and procure it from his frostbitten corpse. The key allows us to get through the locked doors in our path, and we can now get to the top of the tower. We deal with a few enemies here, and grab the sigil stone that holds the gate open. I'll just take that. Whoa. Hey, watch it, buddy. I'm closing the gate here. With the gate closed, we can now make it into the city and find Martin. We check the sigil stone we got, and it's useless to us. With the guards helping us, we clear the area inside of any remaining Daedra and have earned enough experience to make it to level 2. Once the plaza is clear, we head inside the temple to get some rest and level up. We put our points into intelligence, willpower, and speed. Intelligence and willpower are our most important attributes as they increase our max magicka and the speed at which we regenerate magicka, respectively. We find Martin, tell him he's the Emperor's lost son, and that we need to take him to Joffrey. When we get to Wayne Priory, we find that it's under attack by the Mythic Dawn.
I don't know. I think they're right behind. What's going on?
We take out the agents outside, and we also get attacked by this random conjurer. Okay then. We take his stuff, and at least we look more like a wizard now. We save Joffrey in the chapel, and he tells us that they may have come here for the amulet, and we need to see if it's safe, which led to this funny interaction.
I fear the enemy came here for the amulet of kings.
Well, do you think they found it?
They've taken it.
God, I love this game. Joffrey tells us that we need to get Martin to the Cloud Ruler Temple, the hidden fortress of the Blades in the mountains near Bruma. Martin gives a rousing speech to the Blades at the temple, but I'm busy playing with my bones in the stable. Joffrey tells us to meet up with Boris in the Imperial City to see what information he's gathered. Boris tells us to discreetly follow the man that is following him. Thankfully, we're very good at stealth, and he has no idea that we're following him. He's a Mythic Dawn agent and attacks Boris once he thinks he's got him alone. We find a strange book on him, and Boris suggests we head to the Arcane University to talk to an expert on cults. Tarmina tells us that there are 4 volumes in the collection and that we should get the other ones. She gives us book 2 and suggests we check the bookstore in town. Fintius says he has a copy of book 3, but it's been sold already. We wait for the buyer to show up and scare him into giving us the book. He also tells us that he had a meeting set up to acquire the 4th book. Before returning to Boris, we sell off some things we have, including a ring we enchant with a sigil stone we got earlier. We use the money to buy a new healing spell. We tell Boris about the meeting, and he leads us through the sewers to the location. We encounter the legendary anti-gravity crab along the way. I decide to bring my new crab balloon along with me, but unfortunately, a door ends our journey together. We crash the meeting, taking out the Mythic Dawn agents, and get the 4th book, as well as hitting level 3. Again, points into intelligence, willpower, and speed. We return to Tarmina and give her the books. After some time, she decodes a hidden message, which leads us to a secret map, with a location marked. We head to Lake Arius Caverns to infiltrate the Mythic Dawn. At least, that's the intended way of doing this quest. I opt for the more smash and grab approach of cast first and don't bother asking questions. We make it to the main room, where Mankar Hand has the Amulet of Kings. I rush in to disrupt the speech, freeing the prisoner to serve as a distraction. There's too many to deal with directly, though, and we end up with our first death. On our second attempt, I make use of conjurations to serve as additional distraction alongside the prisoner, while I grab the book. I get swarmed by the Mythic Dawn, and while trying to run away, I fumble this jump and... well, shit. On our third attempt, I just summon, free the prisoner, grab the book, and run without trying to fight all of them. We escape, but instead of heading straight back to Cloud Ruler Temple, we stop by Azura Shrine to mark the location for later. We return the book to Martin, and Joffrey tells us to deal with some spies in Bruma. They were spotted at a stone nearby. It's just a short little hop skip away, and oh shit. We make it safely down the mountain to the Standing Stone, and wait for the spy to show up. Her name is Jurl. We take the keys to her house and basement to find the other spy. We stop at the Mages Guild in town to join, so that we can make use of their services, including a bed to level up. We buy a couple spells we might need, including a new destruction spell, before heading over to Jurl's house. We take out the other spy and find their orders. We return to Joffrey, who sends us to Martin to see what progress he's made on the book. Martin tells us we'll need a Daedric artifact, and thankfully we stopped at Azura's shrine earlier so we can head straight there to complete her quest. We take out a nearby wisp to use the glow dust as an offering. Azura spaces off a bit, but eventually tells us to kill some vampires.
Many years ago, 5 followers slew the vampire Dratic.
This proves to be the toughest fight so far, as some of these vampires can put out some real damage. Our new destruction spell puts out some serious damage too, thanks to their weakness to fire, but our magicka runs out very fast, leaving us pretty exposed at some moments. We get through most of the cave before getting bodied by the last vampire. Our second attempt goes even worse, as this vine decides to sacrifice itself to save this vampire. I quietly accept my fate. Attempt 3 ends after I run out of magicka again. And a few more times, too. Eventually, we make it through by the power of cheese, slipping back and forth through this small gap that the enemies path around.
I fought mud crabs more fearsome than you.
We return to Azura after slaying the vampires, and she rewards us with her star. We stop in Bruma to cure our disease and level up. We return to Martin and give him Azura's star. He tells us to speak to Joffrey again, as there's trouble in Bruma. An Oblivion gate has opened outside the city. We need to help close it. Captain Bird joins us and does a great job at taking enemies from the front while we blast them from behind. We make it through the tower without issue, thanks to Bird Eiffel Towering the enemies with me. We grab the sigil stone at the top. It gives us a resist shock enchantment, which is a small but helpful defense boost. All that spellcasting gets us to level 6 as well. We return to Martin, who tells us that we'll need the blood of a divine to complement the blood of a Daedra. He tells us to find the armor of Tiber Septim in the ruins of Sancre Tor. Our biggest weakness once again proves to be our magicka running out. Before heading too far into Sancre Tor, we retreat to gather some ingredients to make some potions. There's a lot of flaxseed in the area around Skingrad. Mix those with some steel blue entaloma mushrooms found in the forest north of Skingrad, and you get a Restore Magicka potion. We make a bunch of those, grab a level up, and buy a new conjuration spell before returning to Sancre Tor. We take out the 4 special undead blades that can clear the path for us. Each one also has a unique magic item that we can take to sell later. We find a bed and grab another level up on the way. We grab the armor and return it to Martin. Martin tells us that the next thing we need is a great Welkin stone, which we can find in the ruins of Miskarkand, a former Ayleid city. It's right next to Skingrad, and we stop by the Mages Guild there to pick up some new destruction spells on the way. Miskarkand is full of undead and goblins fighting each other, so we can get through pretty unscathed. Hey, you see that? That's a Welkin stone, a lesser one. Using one of those fully restores your magicka. I didn't remember that until this point in the run. Probably should have grabbed some from the first Ayleid ruin outside the tutorial, but I didn't, and suffered for it. We grab as many as we can to use in the future. It's a good thing we did, because after grabbing the Great Welkin stone we need, the King of Miskarkand shows up. He's a lich that has some seriously strong magic defenses. We run out of magicka twice while fighting him. In the end, though, we prove that we are the superior spellslinger. We return the stone to Martin, and he tells us the last thing we need is a great sigil stone. He also gives us some great advice.
What matters is that we act, that we do what's right when confronted with evil. That's what you did at Kvatch. It wasn't the gods that saved us, it was you. Were you acting for the gods? I don't know. But now, it's my turn to act.
We could all stand to act more when faced with evil. Certainly here in the US at least. Anyways, we get 2 level ups and max out our intelligence and willpower. Bird pulls a 6 stunt on the way to the battle. Martin rallies the troops while I look at the sun with night vision goggles. The battle begins, and our goal is to wait for a great gate to open. Once it does, we go in and get the Great Sigil Stone. After some time, the Great Gate opens and we head in. Aside from one death due to being stupid and not healing, the Daedra inside aren't much of an issue. There are a few places where we can bypass by jumping, making it to the main tower. The guard outside drops an amulet of spell reflection, a fine addition to our wardrobe. We make it to the top of the tower, but my magic is no match for gravity. We grab the stone and close the gate. After the battle, we find perhaps the most important upgrade we can possibly get. On a dead Dremora, we find a Ring of Light. Oh, also the Siege Engine dropped a Sigil Stone that gives us a very powerful Frost Shield enchantment, but that's whatever. We return to Martin with the Great Sigil Stone, and he's able to open a portal to Mankar Camoran's paradise. The outside is no issue. Just walk over to the door, kill the guard, and put on the armbands. We get the funny door glitch. Mankar tells us about his breeding kink.
You are the last defender of decadent Tamriel. I am the midwife of the Mythic Dawn. Tamriel, watch out.
We make it to the throne room and rush right in. Mankar has some serious magic defenses, so we'll need to be pretty aggressive to take him down. He will also heal himself if we take too long. Our first attempt doesn't go over well when we get tag-teamed by the Camoran clan. Our second attempt, however, is a cakewalk, as we get Mankar trapped in a corner and finger blast him till he's finished. We grab the amulet and return to Martin. Now all we need to do is get to the Imperial City, where Martin can be crowned the new Emperor. The Daedra attack the city at the last moment, and we need to get Martin to the Temple of the One to light the dragon fires. There's a lot of Daedra here, but thankfully we have a squad of Imperial guards to help get us through. We make it to the Temple District, but Mehrunes Dagon is already here. There's still a chance, though, if we can get Martin into the temple. On the way in, I give Dagon a zap, but he doesn't appreciate it. We make it in, Martin says goodbye, and makes the ultimate sacrifice.
I do what I must do. I cannot stay to rebuild Tamriel. That task falls to others. Farewell. You've been a good friend in the short time that I've known you. But now I must go. The dragon waits.
Oblivion Remastered, beaten with only magic. It was a great time playing through Oblivion with such a powerful but fragile character. Lots of memories playing the original as a kid, and the remaster is, in my opinion, a very good update while remaining faithful to the goofy jank of the original. I had a lot of fun doing this run, and this is just like, top of the head thoughts as I'm finishing the editing. But when I started the actual editing process, I think I messed up, and the project file is in like 24 frames per second, but the footage I recorded originally was at like, 60 or so. So I hope it kind of doesn't look really weird. But yeah, great time doing this run. Next video will be another Oblivion run. Should be a lot shorter because it's kind of just fun and goofy, but stay tuned. Oh no, he's T-posing, run!